So after we opened a heart, and then in this case, partner already knows we have 5-card hearts, right? Good old 5-card majors. Partner knows that much about our hand. If we are short in diamonds and have at least 3-card support, normal takeout support for unbid suits, as long as we have at least 3 spades and 3 clubs, can't we reopen with a double here? And then we'll find out what partner wants to do. Partner may even be able to support our original suit. For all we know, partner has a heart fit, but a very weak hand that wasn't good enough to just freely bid 2 hearts here, right? The partner might have a 5-point hand with 3 hearts. Okay, well that's fine. In that case, they wouldn't dream of leaving the double in, hopefully, if their hand is that weak. They would just take us back to hearts. Or if they have a singleton or doubleton or something in hearts and they don't want to, they might take a preference with a doubleton actually, since we have 5. But if they can't support hearts, maybe they bid 2 spades. Or perhaps least optimal, maybe they have to go to the 3 level and bid clubs. But if that's what they're forced to do, they probably have a 5-card club suit, right? And we have a fit there. So we should have a place to go. And then item C on your requirements is actually more a statement of what's not required. You do not need extra values. You can have the same minimum opening, that same 13-point boring hand, as long as your hand meets the other criteria. Your reopening double does not promise extras. And that is probably the key. What matters is your shape. Do you have the shape to reopen? You don't have to have 15 or 16 or 18, you don't have to have extra points. Because if partner is sitting over there with a penalty pass, they may be depending on you to reopen. And I will tell you, when you start playing in fly day events with experts, this is just absolutely standard. You reopen with a double with any excuse, because you've got to protect partner. Now, sometimes even when you would like to reopen with a double and protect partner's possible penalty pass over there, sometimes it's not the best description of your hand, right? Now, if you have a good 6-card major, you should probably rebid your major. You might be able to get away with a double. Or sometimes you want to reopen, but there's a suit out there that you can't support, right? So if you do that, then you've got to have a plan. Where are you going to go when partner bids the suit that you can't support? Because we said you wanted to have at least 3-card support for unbid suits, right? So we need a place to go. So I want to look at a hand that I hope will convince you about the value of defending and how profitable it can be sometimes when partner has this penalty pass. Even if you're a crappy defender, sometimes you can still collect a big score. And what you're going to see as this shapes up is that everybody has their bid, strangely enough. Okay, let's see here. So just for ease of reading, we're going to put the dealer in the west seat with this hand. You have 13 high card points. Your shape is 3-5-1-4. So you open a heart, right? Now the auction proceeds this way. Oops. Too many parentheses. Parentheses are the opponents. Everybody comfortable with the reopening double with this hand? Does it meet the criteria we just talked about?
Yeah.
Again, you have a minimum. You only have 13 points. It's not like you have extra values. But you have a small singleton diamond. That's the opponent's suit. Oh, by the way, I did want to add this in. Everybody's vulnerable.
If you want to pre-schedule it for 6 to 12, that'd be perfect. All right, thanks.
So you balance with a double. Now we don't know if partner has anything or not, right? Partner pass over 2 diamonds. Well, what are the possible outcomes here? Well, maybe partner retreats to hearts. Maybe partner has 3 small hearts, or who knows, even something like Queen Doubleton. Remember, it's okay to take a preference on a decent Doubleton. We'd only be at the 2 level. If partner took a preference back to 2 hearts, that would be all right. Be a 5-2 fit, not the end of the world. Partner might bid 2 spades. Okay, we only have 3 spades, but they're decent ones. A couple of honors there, Queen Jack third. And we're only at the 2 level, right? And remember, just like all of our other match point actions, if it's possible for us to play in a major, partner's gonna let us play in a major. But if partner doesn't have 4 spades and doesn't have 2 or 3 hearts where they can preference a major, if they have to, if clubs is their longest suit and they have to bid 3 clubs, okay, we're up a level higher, we're at the 3 level instead of the 2 level, but don't we like our club support? I mean, we do have King, Queen, 4th. I mean, picture partner with a very weak hand and their clubs are, say, Jack 5th. And yet, this hand would probably play pretty well, wouldn't it? If you could sort of envision how this plays out. I mean, if partner's bidding 3 clubs, there's a very strong likelihood that they have a singleton heart, right? They're not bidding a major, they're not preferencing back to our hearts. I mean, I can construct some hands with 3 or 4 high card points where partner has a singleton heart and 5 clubs, but this hand plays really well. And they could rough heart losers in their hand and rough diamond losers in the dummy. This could work out really well. So you have a place to go, right? Whatever partner does, you have a place to go. And you're not going to get excited if when partner bids a suit, you're going to pass from that point forward, right? Because you do have a minimum. And if partner is pulling that reopening double and bidding a suit, they're not interested in defending. And so you're not going to put any more pressure. Let partner play 2 spades, 2 hearts, 3 clubs, whatever it is. And then if the opponents happen to bid again, okay, now you're done. You let it go. You've done your work. You've done all you can. Now, on this particular hand, what is going to happen is going to surprise and perhaps alarm you. Partner's going to leave that double in. Huh. Yeah, what's going on here? Partner has a bunch of diamonds. For all we know, partner wanted to bid 2 diamonds. Let's look at a hand that partner can have. Would you imagine all that in partner's hand? Now, could your partner have bid? I've got too many cards in there. Too many diamonds. Yeah. If partner had 14 cards and 6 of them were diamonds, that would be a really good penalty pass. My guess is that if most of you picked up that hand, you would probably, after the 2 diamond overcall, you would probably bid 2 no or 3 no. You're kind of in between, right?
Mhm.
You're right on the edge. Do you want to force the game? I mean, you don't have a fit with partner. Partner opened a heart, you have a singleton. That's not an asset. On the other hand, you have diamonds sufficiently stopped. But you know partner's probably short in diamonds because the opponent's overcalled that suit. So you have the points to be in game, and you do have a 4-4 club fit, although I don't know that I want to contract for 11 tricks. So if we are going to play game on these cards, it looks like we'd want to take a shot at 3 no. But we have to get our tricks somewhere, right? So where are our 9 tricks coming from? I mean, yeah, we've got diamonds stopped, but we would probably lose a couple diamonds in the process. The opponents might see to it to dislodge that ace of hearts and set up the king-queen as winners. And the king of spades is lurking out there somewhere. We might have 9 tricks, but game is not a sure thing, is it?
You've got 2 ways to get there with your king and queen, but it's still.
Yeah, it's not that like you're completely without transportation. You can get back and
Right.
forth between the 2 hands, but can you get to your 9 tricks? I mean, you might need a little help from the defense. But you might have 9 tricks. On this layout, it turns out you probably do have 9 tricks. But it's not a guarantee. How do you feel about defending? Now, I know it doesn't look that attractive to defend a part score at a lower level, but this is when we do it. Now, here's the thing. If you are going to pass a hand this good, there are a couple things that need to be in place. One, you need to do it in tempo, so that somebody does, Ellie, this person paused for 2 solid minutes and then passed. Their partner has unauthorized information.
Nancy.
That would not be untrue. Yeah. Right?
Right.
So, because the opponents may have caught you off guard, right? You're not expecting a 2 diamond bluff. So you've got to be prepared for this. That's one, and you've got to be able to bid this hand in tempo. But I think the bigger concern is, do you trust partner to reopen, right? Because your concern is, well, if partner doesn't bid again, as long as partner bids again, whether that is a double or something else, I get another chance, right? I mean, if we wanted, we could pass, hoping for a reopening double, and then if partner rebids their hearts, if we really wanted, we'd get another chance to bid, and we could bid 3-0, right? What we're afraid of is, well, what if partner passes, right? What if partner doesn't act? So, is there risk to passing with this good of a hand? A little bit, but this is why expert partnerships will absolutely strain to reopen with a double whenever they can. And even if their reopening bid is not a double, they are going to act again.
Kurt, okay, the guy with the 1 heart opens, and he's gotta have 12 or 13.
Right.
The guy with the 2 diamonds overcalls at the 2 level, he probably has 12 or 13.
We expect full opening values for a vulnerable 2-level overcall,
Now,
yes.
looking at what you have, do you think it's likely that your partner will reopen? Will say something?
We've got 12.
I think so. I mean, in all of my partnerships, I'm actually comfortable, I should say, in all of my partnerships, in my experience, very experienced partnerships, I'm looking, I'm like, they overcall, yes. Well, no, that's, yeah, look, I mean, this is a legitimate point. If I'm playing with you, and this hand comes up on Friday, right? Would I pass with this hand?
Maybe not.
Well, we're playing on Friday and the lesson is Tuesday, so if you will sit up here for about 3 days, I'll probably pass and give you a chance to double. But if we hadn't talked about this in detail, I would be a little afraid, because I'm like, well, if Nancy has a minimum opening, she may not reopen with a double. She may not think about the fact that this could be my hand, all right? Now, they've overcalled diamonds. I have 5 diamonds, right? There are only 3 diamonds out there that are unaccounted for. And odds are they split 2-1. That's what the statistical probabilities would say, right? So I'm confident that partner is short in diamonds, and so, I can expect a reopening double. So, I can pass in tempo and feel pretty confident that partner will reopen with a double. But again, this is something we want to talk about, right? This is, we want to discuss this in our partnerships and understand that it is not just permissible, but encouraged to reopen, even with a minimum opening, as long as you've got shortness in the opponent's suit. That is the key. So, yeah, that's a consideration.
Jan wants to play with you on Friday.
You have just given your spot. You have just given up your first Friday.
No.
All right, let's take a look at North, the 2 diamond bidder's hand. And now, I would say that this is, it's not an entirely unreasonable overcall. I have learned that you can get into trouble. But it is a full opening hand, and the diamond suit is ace, queen, 5th. Now, I didn't give them any spots. This is a good example why, and some of you have heard me say, when I overcall vulnerable at the 2 level, it's almost always a 6-card suit. Situations like this, where I have taken my lumps the hard way by making, it's not a terrible overcall, and it's an overcall that I bet a lot of club players would make. Believe it or not, a lot of expert players would pass this hand. They would not overcall, even though they have 5 diamonds in an opening hand, because they don't have a 6th diamond and there are too many holes in the suit. Ace, queen, 10, 9, 5th, they would probably overcall. Ace, queen, empty 5th, they would probably not. But it's not like North has made a wildly unreasonable overcall, right? It's not like they overcalled Jack 5th vulnerable.
Kurt, going back to this one a minute, if you're playing with one of us, not one of your really good players, what would you say?
What would I
Yo,
say?
Trump.
I would probably try 2-no. If I didn't feel confident that I was going to get the reopening double from partner, I would probably bid 2-no. If I was feeling real frisky, maybe I'd bid 3-no.
Okay, all right.
Or maybe I'd look at my opponents. I'd be like, they always drop a trick or 2 on defense. I think I can make a game. I'm okay with either one. It's right. It's borderline, and it also depends. How does your how light would your partner open? What is your style, right? Do partners opening bids tend to be sound? If so, 3-no is more reasonable. Does your partner open a lot of rule of 20 type hands and 11-point hands? In that case, 2-no is probably a better bet, and let partner decide whether or not they want to raise you to 3-no. So lots of considerations there.
So do you have to have that kind of hand to wait for the passing?
It doesn't have to be that good. Would you consider? In fact, the penalty pass may be even more attractive if we take away one of your aces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we take away either your ace of spades or your ace of clubs, you still have quite a bit of defense against diamonds, but now your hand's not even good enough to bid 2-no, right?
Right.
And so what you may be thinking in that situation is, hey, we probably don't have a game. Now I actually need the opening bidder to have a very strong hand for us to have a game. But we still have a lot of defense against diamonds. You've got a bunch of trump tricks and an ace, and partner open the bidding. And that is actually even a better scenario for a penalty pass, because then you don't feel, then you're like, you know what? We don't need to collect a penalty that's better than our game, right? So you look at these hands, you say, okay, everybody's vulnerable. If 3-no is making, we're in line to go plus 600, right? That's our 3-no vulnerable making.
Right.
How many tricks do we need to beat 2 diamonds double vulnerable to make it better than our game. It's got to be a 3-trick doubled set, right?
Right, right.
Since we're going 2, 5, 8.
Yeah.
500 isn't as good as our 3 now. 800 is better than our 3 now. So that's the target. If we can do 800 or better, we've got a better result than our game. On the other hand, if we didn't have a game and this is just a part score deal for one side or the other, 200 is probably sufficient. We're gonna, for those of you who are doing the match point mastery, we're gonna talk about that. What I call the 200 threshold. Basically, any deal in which neither side is either making a game, or even if there's a makeable game, neither side is realistically going to bid a game. Usually all you need to do is collect 200 for it to be a good result, because that's better than our 110s and our 90s and our 130s and our 140s, right? A lot of times 200 is all the match points. So let's look at these and might as well put up, poor South, not invited to this party, had absolutely nothing to do with this disaster, and is going to table a really crappy dummy if North ends up declaring 2 diamonds double.
Unless you end up in hearts, but you wouldn't do it, you wouldn't get.
Yeah, I mean they have trump. Yeah, I don't see any reason why we would play our 5-1 heart.
No.
Now, we may not, and here's the thing about this hand, if you can start to envision, and we won't necessarily we're not going to walk through every trick of the play here, but even if you slip a trick on defense, east-west, you're still probably going to collect 1,100 on this hand. That's how ugly it is for north-south. What we often want to do is we'd like to draw trumps and make sure that they don't get to rough anything in the dummy. On the other hand, if you lead trumps from this side, at least to start, you will give away a trump trick, right? Which is it's not the end of the world on this hand. But we're going to want to get some help from partner. So you're on lead with this hand. Against 2 diamonds doubled, right? After you convert the double. So I think I would lead partner suit.
Yep.
But this is not because you want roughs, okay? Once you convert the double, hopefully partner isn't trying to give you heart roughs, because that's actually not what you want on this hand. Whenever you have natural trump tricks, you don't want to rough with them. The best defense on this hand is actually your leading partner suit, just because that's where partner rates to have something, and you figure it's the surest way to get into their hand. And then what we'd probably like partner to do, even with the queen of hearts sitting in dummy, we'd probably like partner to rise with the ace and put a trump through right away. Now, unfortunately, they can only do this once, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at least you get a diamond through the ace queen once. Now, they may just duck, and you score your 9 or something like that. And then we've got to figure out what to do from there. But notice that if we can get partner to lead some spades, exit the queen of spades, now we've got that king of spades trapped, right? Because we have ace 10. So think of how many defensive tricks do we have, right? Well, we should have 3 spades, as long as we don't lay down the ace of spades. That's what I'm saying. We might blow a trick on defense, right? We might does partner have king of spades? Should I play the ace? I'd probably lay off, see if partner can put a spade through. But if we don't break the spade suit from the east side, we can get 3 spade winners. We know we have a heart winner with the ace of hearts. Let's look at the club suit.
It's good.
So, in theory, we should be able to get 3 club winners, right? But that means we have to get trumps drawn so that they can't rough their jack of clubs in the dummy. That would be one of the compelling reasons to draw trump. So if we get things untangled carefully, we can come to three club winners. We just need to take care of dummy's trumps. And then even if you blow a diamond trick for the purpose of taking that other diamond off the dummy, you have 3 diamond tricks for sure, right? In theory, you could come to 4. If partner returns a heart and they play the king, okay, you can rough out the king. one way or another, you are going to get at least 3 trump tricks. This looks pretty ugly, doesn't it? That looks like about 10 tricks for the defense. Down 4, double. They're only at the 2 level. You can get a profitable result. That's 1,100. And we said, even if you mess up, you don't get trumps drawn and you let them rough a club and dummy, you slip a trick. Or you lay down your ace of spades, hoping partner has the king, and that you're not setting up a spade winner for them. Okay. We slip a trick, we still collect 800. That's better than our 3-no would have been. So, and I point this out, and the reason that I like to give people the full diagram on a hand like this is to illustrate sometimes you can do a lot better defending as long as they're doubled, and in particular if they're vulnerable. You know, what if they have overcalled 2 diamonds non-vol, but we are vol? Would we still look for the penalty pass? Well, now we have to be closer to perfect with our defense to make it better than our game, right? Because if they're not vol and they've overcalled, and we create a penalty situation, now we're going 1, 3, 5, 8. We've got to get a 4 trick set to make it. Well, that's not if we're vulnerable, right? Because we still stand to gain 600. So sometimes I look at these situations like sometimes I have a decision to make. Do I go for the penalty or do I just bid our game? And if I see that they're not vulnerable, and I'm like, well, do we have enough defense? Because if we have a game, and I hate to only collect like a 300 set, when we were gaining 400 or 600 or something like that. So, question.
Yeah, can you construct an example where North has 2 5-card suits or a 6 and a 5, and their partner supports it?
That's a different scenario. Okay.
No.
Notice. Well, I took the auction down, but notice that they never got diamond support on this hand. I am much more reluctant to defend if they confirm a fit, and I'm talking about truly finding a fit, not somebody bid 2 suits and one of them just took a preference, because they may not like their choices, right? It still may be attractive to defend there, but if they got a free raise, right? Not that, and we wouldn't see it on this hand, but if it went something like this, like let's say we thought we might have a penalty pass, but then this person ended up raising, and then let's say partner had a good enough hand that they decided to double here. Now that's a little different because they haven't reopened, right? So they probably wouldn't do with a minimum hand like this, because now they're making you bid at the 3 level, right? So I think that the double on that auction would probably show some extra strength. Would you be now here on this case, because of the free raise and because partner having extras, I don't think you could have that good of a hand, right? That seems unlikely. Would you leave the double in at that level? Not if I'd be reluctant to, even if I had a couple of trump tricks. I mean, they freely raised the overcall there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Why isn't that a reopening double?
Because you're not in the pass out seat. You're in the direct seat, right?
So that
Right.
person's showing a
Because
strong hand.
your
This is showing extras, yeah. This is not like you're just trying to compete and get partner to maybe choose a bid at the 2 level, right? I mean, you are forcing partner to bid 3 hearts or 3 spades or 4 clubs, because they don't want to leave that double in if they have a really weak hand, right? If they don't have defense. So, yeah. So you would want to be. Yeah, if they have confirmed. So here they don't have an 8-card fit, right? On these hands, no, there's no. They very well may not be in a good place. But if they freely raise their partner, now sometimes it ends up being profitable to defend. Sometimes people make bad raises. Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes people raise freely on doubletons, which is usually not in ties, right? They can't think of a better bid, and they don't want to pass, so they raise on the doubleton. Let's look at a couple more examples. Let's go with a little different auction. Let's have you open a diamond. Okay, what about that one? So you've got the strength of no trump, but you didn't open a no trump because you had a singleton spade, right? So we're going to open a diamond, right? We're 4-4 in the minors, so we'll open our diamond. And left-hand opponent overcalls a spade, and this comes back around. Are you inclined to sell out to one spade? I hope not.
Not with a singleton spade.
Now, what do you feel is the best description of your hand at this point?
Double.
How about double?
Short.
Doesn't double keep all of our suits in the picture? Like we wouldn't want to bid our 4-card heart suit. That would still kind of be like a reverse, and that's not quite what your hand is. But I don't think you'd want to bid 2 hearts, and then if partner had to take a preference back to diamonds, they'd have to go to the 3 level, right? So you wouldn't want to do that. And you could make a cheap 2 club bid, but now partner's going to take you for 9 or maybe 10 cards in the minors, and you could miss a heart fit. So let's keep all the suits except for spades in the picture. Now they've only overcalled at the 1 level. And we're much less likely to have a penalty pass at the 1 level than at the 2 level or higher, right? So when we reopen here with a double, realistically, are we expecting partner to leave this in? Probably not. I mean, it's hard to construct a hand that partner would have that is so good that they didn't go ahead and bid something the first time, that their partner is so excited to defend 1 spade that they passed with a really good hand. And they may have some spade length, but I don't think partner has a great hand, right? I mean, usually we just want to do the normal thing, and if partner had diamonds, they could raise diamonds. If partner had 4 hearts, they wouldn't need much to make a negative double, right? If partner had a spade stopper in 7 or 8 or 9 points, they could have bid a no trump, right? I mean, partner could have done all these things. So I think realistically, partner probably has a weak hand. Almost all the time, that's what partner has. Most of the time, they don't have the penalty pass. Otherwise, we figure partner might have acted instead of hoping for a reopening double, especially at the 1 level. Right? But even if partner has a pretty weak hand, that doesn't mean we want to sell out to 1 spade. We could very easily be making something. We don't need a lot from partner to make a part score. And if we reopen with a double, whatever partner does next, we're probably fine, right? Whether they bid 2 clubs or 2 diamonds or 2 hearts, any of those work for us, right? Because what we now have is the perfect takeout double of spades, right? With the 4-4-4-1. This is just good, sound, I would say match point, but I mean, even if I'm playing teams, I'd be reopening with a double with this hand. I still want to compete because I've got the right shape. So everybody's comfortable with that double? All right, something a little different. Let's go with this option. How about a spade opening and a 2 heart overcall? opening bidder holds this. If I can find it. And I've given you a pretty good hand this time. Pretty good 15 count. Your spade suit is 6 of them to the ace jack 10. So here's the question mark. You leaning toward 2 spades? Is anybody thinking about double here? Or a different call? And let's entertain anything that you might be thinking of doing. Now, you do have a good 4-card diamond suit,
Right.
but I hope you don't want to bid 3 diamonds, right? Because if partner can't stand diamonds and actually has 2 or 3 spades, I'd hate to force partner to take that spade preference at the 3 level, right? That's the problem with bidding diamonds. Yeah, you'd like partner to know about ace, queen, jack, 4th, but I just don't think you can afford to do it here. What if you double? Does anybody see a problem?
You don't
But-
have a big enough hand.
Yeah, what if you only have a doubleton club? What do you do if partner bids 3 clubs?
Then you rebid
Now
your
you're in the
spades.
same predicament. You could bid 3 diamonds, or you could bid 3 spades, but here you are up at the 3 level, right? So even though partner might be over there waiting for you to double, you might not always be able to oblige. Right? So I think the better bet is probably just to bid 2 spades with this hand. And it's because you've got that problem with supporting the unbid suits. And look, partner may have a doubleton, and there certainly is value in telling partner about the 6th spade, right? Because if they have 2 of them, even if it's too small, at least that's an 8-card fit. And you may not have, that may be the only place where you have an 8-card fit. And if it turns out that partner was in fact waiting for a double, maybe they've made a flimsy overcall and partner's got a stack of hearts, partner can still correct this, right? If they want to be in game, they can still bid no trump next. And it'll be like, oh, I see. You passed the first time. You didn't bid no trump with your heart stopper the first time. I guess you were waiting for me to double. Well, sorry to oblige you, partner. Sorry I couldn't oblige you, partner. I had the wrong hand. Because that's really the only explanation of why would partner then make a delayed bid of no trump. Yeah, because maybe they had a penalty pass and they didn't get what they really wanted to hear from you. And you say, sorry, wish I could have doubled. I just didn't quite have the right hand for it. All right, I've got one more from this department for you. This time you are going to open 1 heart and have a 2 club overcall. And opening bidder, this is your hand. Sure wish that overcall had been 2 diamonds, right? Then we'd have an easier problem to deal with. Remember that your shortness doesn't have to be a singleton or a void. It could be a doubleton. And you could have an honor in there, right? So if you opened a heart with this hand and they overcalled 2 diamonds, would you be comfortable reopening with a double then?
16, 17,
But you got 18.
18
points.
real, yes.
Yeah.
18 balanced.
1.
All right. So yeah, so the problem is, if you reopen with a double now, partner might bid 2 diamonds, and you only have ace doubleton. You don't have 3-card support. And partner could be bidding a 4-card diamond suit if you force partner to bid again. I'd hate to leave partner in a 4-2 diamond fit. That would not be a lot of fun.
No.
All right, Betsy says 2 no. How does everybody else feel about 2 no?
Yes.
I mean, it feels like a little, 2 no is your hand, by the way, right? Because you don't really have an opening double. You have exactly 5 hearts. Your hearts are not rebiddable. A 2 heart bid here would absolutely guarantee 6. We don't rebid a 5 card suit in this situation. You've got a club stopper. You've got ace third. It feels a little scary because if partner is truly broke, you're not going to get a lot of help from the dummy. And if the overcaller's clubs are good, they're probably going to knock out your stopper. And you're going to find yourself probably giving up, unless partner is kind enough to give you the ace of hearts to get your heart set up, you'll probably have to push out the ace of hearts, right? So you could catch a really weak dummy, and there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to come to 8 tricks and no trump. But it is the best description of your hand, especially when the reopening double doesn't work. I mean, you could try the double, but then if partner bids 2 diamonds, you're probably bidding 2 no anyhow, right? So, in theory, you could recover from the double. You could double, but I think you're going to, unless partner bids 2 hearts or 2 spades, you're probably bidding again.
But if you don't.
So, if you do bid 2 no here, by the way, that would show like 18 to 19. And of course, you guarantee a club stopper because they overcalled that suit at the 2 level, so you definitely want to have a stopper. This would be a lot more comfortable if you had ace jack third of clubs,
If you double,
because that would be a double, a likely double stopper. And now here, you might need partner to have a club card to have a second stopper, right?
if you double, and then they bid diamonds, and then you say 2 no, don't they know now that you have 18 or 19 points?
Yeah, I think if you choose double in hopes of landing in 2 hearts or 2 spades, and then partner gives you the suit that you don't want to hear, I think to correct that to 2 no, yeah, you have to have 18 or 19.
Yeah.
So you would
So.
double, so you would double.
I'm fine with either one. I would probably just bid 2 no. I don't know. I'm actually okay with either. I mean, 2 no shows this hand, but double followed by 2 no. I probably have never discussed any distinction on those bidding sequences, even in regular partnerships. So if I haven't discussed them, I suspect you probably haven't discussed them. Yeah, certainly, if the jack of hearts is the jack of clubs, then I think an immediate 2 no would be more comfortable. And the thing is, as much as you might want to bid, of course now, this hand what I give you, 14? Yeah, then you'd open a heart with that. Okay. So what if that's your hand? You may feel like you want to compete, but here you actually just sell out to 2 clubs. Because you don't have extra strength, and you don't have the right shape to reopen, and unfortunately you're not short enough in their suit to reopen, right? So, but if you have 3 clubs to the ace, can partner really have a penalty pass here? Seems pretty unlikely, right? I mean, they would have had to overcall a really bad club suit for partner to have a penalty pass. So you don't feel too bad about the inability to reopen with a double here, because I don't think you're missing out on, partner probably doesn't have a penalty pass. That penalty pass, remember, is predicated on your being short in the opponent's suit and a greater likelihood that partner has length in their suit. So, yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times, like when they overcall a suit and you have 3 or 4, if you have 3 or 4 cards in the opponent's suit, a lot of times you're stuck with pass. No guarantee that they're in a great contract. Maybe 2 clubs is a lousy contract. Or maybe 2 clubs is a fine contract for them, and partner's hand is so weak that we were never making anything anyhow, so we just let it go. And, if they make 2 clubs, if they get their 90 or 110, okay, well, better than us bidding too much and getting in trouble. So. One thing I just want to spend the last couple minutes on, because we mentioned it in the beginning, but haven't really talked about it. Balancing when all we have done is pass throughout.
Oh, yes.
Because we looked at this option, right? At the beginning, or we put it up here as a possible option. And we said, do you want to sell out the 2 hearts? Can you act in the pass out seat? You never bid in the first round. Partner never bid. That doesn't mean you're done.
This is the one we talked about.
Well, what do you think?
Oh, that's what you
All right.
have?
You didn't want to make a takeout double of 1 heart because you just have a 10 count, right? So while it wouldn't be the worst takeout double in the world, I think I would probably pass 1 heart. Because I don't know that it's all that safe to be doubling right away with that hand. However, now that they want to stop at 2 hearts, then I have 10 high card points, and my partner probably has, I don't know, anywhere from 8 to 12, but 10 points. Partner probably has about 10 points also. I don't see a ton of defense against hearts. They have a guaranteed 8 card heart fit, right? They've bid and raised. So I have a feeling you're going to have this hand on Friday, Nancy. And you're not going to let them play 2 hearts, are you?
Probably.
This is a good balancing double, right? Now, partner may not say exactly what you want to hear. Surely if partner has the other major, ideal scenario is we get to compete at the 2 level. So ideally, partner has 4 spades and we can just bid 2 spades. All right, well, if partner doesn't have spades, they have length and a minor. 3 clubs wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, we'd be at the 3 level. But we do have 4 card support. If partner bids 3 diamonds, that's probably what we want to hear least. But if partner's not bidding spades or clubs, this increases the likelihood that they have 5 diamonds, right? And so and diamonds might be our only 8 card fit. Now look, partner might on occasion end up declaring 3 diamonds in a 4-3 fit, and that would not be fabulous. On the other hand, if they take a couple hearts, at least if partner needed to say rough a heart loser in the dummy, that would be feasible. Ace 3rd of diamonds would be a good holding to be trumping in dummy. And remember, there's no guarantee that we're going to play this thing, right? Because the opponents a lot of times will take the push to 3 hearts. And now we've done our job, right? We've made them play this 1 level higher than they really wanted to.
So in that case, you're going to pass whatever the partner says.
Yes.
Pretty much all of these when you...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If neither one of us had the wherewithal to bid sooner, then we're doing our balancing action, and then we're done. And that's important too, because let's say partner picks spades, right? Because I have seen some bad things happen when we did the right thing, but then okay, so partner bids 2 spades.
Partner get, yeah.
Okay, and now let's say this person bids 3 hearts. All right. To do this now is criminal. We allowed you to overbid once. That was your balancing double, right? Don't punish your partner. You already balanced once. They didn't bid voluntarily before. They bid 2 spades because you made them bid. I understand, okay, hey, we have a spade fit. Partner chose spades, they like spades. That doesn't mean that your partner has a grading. And that certainly doesn't mean, especially without any shape, without even a singleton or anything, you're gonna be hard pressed to take 9 tricks, right? And now there's danger of getting doubled by the opponents for penalty. Because they know you're balancing. And they may not have been willing to double and defend 2 spades, but if you want to bid to 3 spades, they may be more than happy to punish you there. So, don't, do your job and then be done. When you balance, you're in and then you're out. You have done your job once they take that push. With the same auction, what would you do with this one? Oh, let's get the pass. So same thing, you passed the first time because the hand wasn't good enough to overcall 2 diamonds, right? Wrong shape for a takeout double since you only have 2 spades. So I presume you all would pass the first time, I certainly would. However, now they have stopped at 2 hearts and you've got some scattered cards and partners known to have a few values over there. Any ideas?
He's gonna bid spades.
If you balance with a double, partner might bid spades, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But you can't really support spades. So that makes double kind of unattractive, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Any ideas?
Are we vulnerable?
Let's have you be favorable vulnerable.
6, 7, 8.
You're not vulnerable, the opponents are. So remember, this is when you can be your friskiest.
Three. I mean, you don't have much defense. So. Oh, gee. 2 diamonds.
I think Nancy wants to say it. It's on the tip of her tongue.
Oh, I almost wanted to say, 2 no trump.
Well, say it.
2 no trump.
Anybody remember Sam Kinison? Say it! Now this may look weird to some of you, right?
Don't have a stopper.
What is 2 no?
Minors.
So this is going to work like the unusual 2 no. Maybe you had now, look, in a perfect world, you'd be 5-5 in the minors. On the other hand, if you were 5-5 in the minors, you might have done it the first time. At least at favorable vulnerability, you might, right? And so partners going to say, hey, what hand can't, what hand can't bid in the first round of this auction and suddenly can come in with 2 no? And if you put the pieces together, you say, okay, well, look, if partner wanted to keep spades in the picture, they could balance with a double. Why would partner make a bid that would carry us past 2 spades? Because spades is not a playable spot. However, 3 clubs or 3 diamonds. 3 diamonds, I mean, you might balance 3 diamonds, but then what happens if partner has a doubleton diamond and 4 or 5 clubs? Now you just missed your best spot. 2 no is typically 2 places to play. Here, I think it's got to be the minors. What if the auction were slightly different? What if the opponents bid spades? So you might think that 2 no is also both minors here, and that is one possibility. However, 2 no could be a minor and hearts. You wouldn't want to double, right? If you have a 2-suiter, you wouldn't want to double because partner might bid that 3rd suit that you don't have, right? So the meaning of 2 no in these balancing situations is partner, I have 2 places to play. Bid the cheapest suit you can stand. And so if partner can stand clubs, they bid 3 clubs. even if they like their diamonds or their hearts better, because they've got to find out where you can play. If partner bids clubs saying they can stay in clubs, you're going to pass, because that's one of your suits. If partner bypasses clubs and bids 3 diamonds, you're even happier, because you've got 5 of those. And they were saying they probably had fewer than 3 clubs. Why are we looking at this hand? Just so that you realize that if you want to balance, that balance does not have to be a double. There are other ways to balance, and you might not have thought of doing it this way. So 2-no if they bid spades, 2-no if they bid and raise spades, 2-no is any 2-suiter. If they bid hearts, 2-no would specifically be the minors. Otherwise, you might have doubled and kept the spades in the picture so that you didn't have to go to the 3-1.
Could you say that again, Kurt, please? If they.
Okay, so if the opponents have found a fit in spades, and you balance with 2-no, and in particular, situations like this where you have never bid before, so 2-no can be any 2-suiter, and we follow a pass or correct response to that. If the opponents have bid and raised hearts, then 2-no should indeed be both minors, because we have removed spades as a possibility. Why would we go past 2 spades if there's a chance we could play in spades? So when they bid hearts, and we don't keep spades in the picture, and in that situation, it's safe to say, okay, partner definitely has both minors. It's not clubs and hearts or diamonds and hearts. Now remember also, and you may not like the look of this, but just as give you one last example. Sometimes you can just balance in your long suit. Let's go back and give the opponents a heart fit. And you're in this seat right here. You're in that direct seat. Okay. Your favorable vulnerability. Remember, give you the safest conditions for you to get in. Now, when they opened a heart, would you have made a light overcall with that hand? You might, non-vulnerable. It's only a 7 count. On the other hand, chirping 1 spade there is relatively safe. And with ace jack 10-9, it's a pretty good lead director. You'd like, of course, you're not going to, partner's not going to be on lead against hearts, so the lead director might not serve much purpose, right? You'll be on lead against hearts. All right, let's say you chose not to overcall a spade. Would you get in there now? Could you balance with a double? You could, but I'd hate for partner to bid 3 clubs or 3 diamonds when we have a spade fit and could try to steal this thing at the 2 level, right? So if you want to balance here, I think I would balance here. Now, is that aggressive? Yeah. You might be saying to yourself, well, why would I balance 2 spades with a hand that didn't overcall 1 spade? And the answer to that is simply, it's safer now because they found the heart fit. If they had not found a heart fit, I would not balance 2 spades. If this auction started, a heart pass a no trump, and they rebid 2 hearts, I wouldn't dare get in now. That's pretty risky. There's no assurance that they're in a good fit, right? But I mean, partner's got to have some cards, right? I mean, we only have 7 points. Now, partner may have 3 hearts over there. I may have gone 1 heart past 2 hearts. Partner had more of a flat hand, didn't have the right hand for a takeout double. Your partner could have 12 or 13 points over there and just not have a good bid, right? So you're in the balancing seat, so you're going to protect partner and balance 2 spades. And partner, if they do have 11 or 12 or 13 points and couldn't get in, they can't get too excited, right? They've got to say, nope, partner is balancing. Partner could be a little weak over there. What you are doing when you bid 2 spades here, you are bidding both hands. You are bidding the values of both hands. So when it comes back over here, don't punish your partner. Don't raise, even if you like your hand. remember, partner could be balancing pretty light, and they are bidding they borrowed your king, right? So that their balance was more attractive.
And a little bit more.
Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. You know, a 10, of course, a 10 count, I think you certainly would have overcalled the first time. But, I think what I'd like to do is, even though we're missing some folks today, sometime in the next week, this is just a little problem thing. I guess you can call it homework if you want. There are only 5 problems on here. The hand that is given is your hand. The auction is given on here. The bids that are highlighted, that's you.
Okay.
And you know, when I look at this, I'm like, yeah, this would probably be easy to read if I put these auctions on 2 lines instead of stringing them all out on 1 line. If it helps you to rewrite it on 2 lines to keep track of who's bidding what. But what I'd like to do, if we can, is you know, maybe spend a few minutes on this next time.
Okay.
And it's just kind of a what would you do, and in all cases, you are either acting in the balancing seat, or possibly acting. I see at least one of these where you're actually in the direct seat, or possibly dealing with a double from partner that you have to do something with. So just a couple different scenarios, but I like these examples because this is the kind of stuff that just comes up all the time at match points. Try and get you used to maybe partner putting a little pressure on you with a double in a competitive auction and a hand that maybe you envisioned you were not going to do any bidding, and yet partner seems to want to make you bid. So.
Never heard have, no, partners pay.